All right, y'all. Here we are in the middle of Wyoming. Entering Interstate 80, heading west. We're going to go to, not Creston Junction. Maybe it is Creston Junction. No. I don't remember what the stop's called, but it's an intersection of 789 and I-80. We're going to hit that in about 20 minutes and be heading south. It's been a beautiful day. This has been such a nice day. Just beautiful road. I guess I should put my cruise control on. There we go. Just a beautiful day. A beautiful late fall, early winter day out in the plains of Wyoming in the high mountain. Well, the high desert, I guess you would call it. I do believe. It's really pretty out here. This is a very, very tough country. Continental Divide, interesting. While I was in Laramie, because that's where I'm coming home from, I got 3 more shirts, really pretty. A little bit of sun. That's kind of nice. Have not seen a lot of sun today. But the storm has moved out. It was here yesterday and the day before. Wasn't much of a storm. Not like last week's storm. I'm doing about 84. Speed limit is 80. Actually, that's my high end. It's sort of It oscillates between 80 and 84. The wind is blowing from the east today, up here. That is almost something that you would mark on your calendar and say, wow, special occasion. The wind is blowing from the east on I-80 in Wyoming. This could likely be my last trip up here. I don't know, maybe not. We'll find out. My poor company is losing accounts. Not good for a company. They've been losing accounts for a while. They know what's coming. I think most of their employees know what's coming too. I don't think that I will work anymore this year. Today is December 12th. By the way, it's about 1:45, early afternoon. Generator. Big engine. Yeah, we really don't know. And if you're a company and you know that you're going down, and you're a big company, you have corporate and whatever, I think that the inclination would be for corporate people to keep the bad news quiet as much as they could, and probably not really be willing to tell their employees that as of so-and-so date, you could be laid off at any time. Because if they did that, they'd probably worry that a lot of their employees would go find another job somewhere. Maybe. I passed Miss Indiana earlier today. I have now passed her again. Soundly thumped her for having the audacity to get in front of me when I stopped to get gas. I just don't have the words to describe the rage. There are a lot of exits out here. Especially considering that there's not much out here, period. I believe I passed this guy before. Actually, I believe I passed this person before, the one that we're coming up to, and I believe, well, probably everyone here, because I stopped and took a little bathroom break. So are they going to push in front of me, or are they going to hit their brakes? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll actually get around them a little bit. I'll go a little faster. So that they can throw around, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, past those guys, they followed me all the way. I just took a break when they caught up with me. This is a lot of snow for Wyoming this time of year. A lot of times, this time of year, this area, you'll come up here and there'll be no snow. It will be cold, but there won't be a lot of snow. And I remember this truck. Yeah, this guy that's pulling a trailer. If that's his own rig, it probably sucks to have to drive back empty wherever wherever you're from. Yeah. Yeah, we're about ready to jump off this road. There's that chateau I saw earlier. It's probably a nice motorhome, but is it really a chateau? Is a chateau really a quality statement? Or is it just another name for a house? And if so, is it a name for a portable house? I don't know. Cool drive. Very cool drive here. there's our exit up there. Okay, so it is Creston Junction. Okay, I remember. Wamsutter is the next town over. I got those confused. Creston Junction is where we get off. I guess if I wanted to buy fireworks today, I would be in I would be all happy right now. I used to love fireworks. I watch a video channel called Ultoyo. I think it's spelled Ultyo. I could be wrong about that spelling, but it's a guy in Tokyo, and he does driving videos. He doesn't talk. He'll either do them to music or just to do them quiet, you know. But he drives all around Tokyo and in a lot of different places in Japan. And I've watched his videos for probably 8 years, maybe longer. Look at that, the wind blowing from the east. Wow. Oh, I don't need any fireworks. Well, if the camera will focus, I'm probably going to have to step in. Try that. Let's see what. Yeah, that might work. I really enjoy the little tracker. It's a very, very good little car. But with my suspension issue not worked out, my drive shaft issue, I've been driving the Jeep. I just can't bring myself to take the tracker out in the weather right now. And the Jeep does cost more to operate. It's probably 15% more expensive to run. Maybe more. But it is a pleasure to drive. For over 300,000 miles on the car, it hasn't had an alignment. And I've never aligned this car. I take minimal care of it, but I do take care of it. I could do better. And I might do better. Because now I'm starting to see, well, I'm getting to that age where I'm looking at how many years have I got left? What kind of things am I going to do? Do I need, what do I need to do with the vehicle? And I don't believe that we're going to have fossil fuels outlawed anytime soon. That is such bullshit. I think that the world will have to come to its senses. Hopefully sooner rather than later. So I'm thinking about rebuilding this car. Just going through it, fixing the things that are weak and replacing the things that are worn that need replaced. I may be doing a paint job on it. I don't really want a new car. I have no desire for a new car. It's the same with the Tracker. It's a really good little car. I just need to get it back in shape where I can depend on it to get me through the blizzard, because that car is phenomenal in the snow. I've never had a better car for the snow. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't see too many cars that are better than that car in the snow. And my proof is, watch some of my videos. Watch some of my snow videos. And you will see, I'm going a safe speed in that car. And I'm passing everyone. So, I just don't think I'm going to need another vehicle. Unless I do a business of some kind that requires a specialized vehicle. I just don't see it. For that reason, I'd like to just get these vehicles in good working condition and have them until I either die or they die. Or for some reason, I get rid of them. But thinking about that. I don't need fancy. I don't want fancy. I don't want high tech. Not in a car. This car is plenty high tech for me. It's computer controlled fuel injection. Looks really good. It's a Williams bank, huh? Okay. We're getting colder as we go south. We're probably around 30 degrees. There's water on the shoulder, and I would imagine that's from the sun, a little bit of the sun we're getting, but the snow is still pretty crunchy. It's not watery. Indicating relatively low temperature today. We're driving through a pretty large oil field. I don't know the name of it, but there's a bunch of oil up here. When I was a kid, I worked on a couple of rigs out here. One water well and I think 2 rigs. That's really hard work. The only time I was actually fired from a job was, I wasn't actually fired, I just wasn't asked to come back. I was doing a water well up here for a guy named Joe Morris. And I wasn't planning on ever working for the guy again. After spending like 3 or 4 days out here working, I hated that guy. He was a hateful guy, though. He was a nice guy until you were working for him. And he was a son of a bitch. And, yeah, it was bad. And my best friend, when I was a kid, was out here. Came out here. And we were both working out there, so that was pretty cool. But he got mad at him, I got mad at him. And we were out in the middle of this desert, out there to the right somewhere, several miles down a dirt road. And the first or second evening we were there, we said, fuck it, we're leaving, we quit. And we started walking down the road. We came up in his truck, what you guys doing? I said, we're done, we're not working for you, you're a fucking asshole. And he apologized, ate crow, which I was impressed that he did that. And we continued, we came back, we finished out, you know, however many days we had. Like a week, I think. So he invited my friend to work for him again, but he didn't invite me. And I probably should have been more butthurt about it than I was. I didn't care. Guy was an asshole. I had no intention of working for him again. I was a pretty spindly guy when I was a kid. Wasn't as strong. I didn't have a lot of upper body strength. So it was real hard to do that work for me. I did get stronger and worked on a couple more rigs, and you've got to be strong. Maybe not nowadays, but back then you had to be strong to handle the tongs, the chains, and the pipes, and everything you had to handle working on a rig. I did have a guy try to fire me, but I quit before he could fire me. You know, the guy was probably not a bad guy, but I was a kid. I was running a Radio Shack. Well, I was working at a Radio Shack for him. I really enjoyed that. I loved the Radio Shack when I was a kid. Kind of an electronics buff. So I was always, you know, doing electronics kits and always interested in that stuff. So I got the opportunity to work at a Radio Shack in Craig. I jumped on that. That was awesome. But one day, my little brother was visiting me, and I really needed to go use a restroom. It was in a mall in Craig. And the restroom was just around the corner. So I went and used the restroom. I had my little brother watch the store rather than shut it down. I trust my little brother. Well, just so happened that the owner of the store flew in from Price, Utah. Jerry Carlson was his name. And him and his friend were flying through, and they stopped in Craig. And he was showing his friend his store. And he caught me not watching the store. And I told him, I said, I just went to the bathroom. You know, my brother watched the store. It was like 2 minutes. And he was being an asshole. He was showing off for his friend. And I thought, okay, fine. Run your fucking store. So I quit. And I walked out. He said, oh, you're fired. You didn't quit. I said, no. Too late. I doubt he'd hire me back. I doubt he's still alive. But if he is, he wasn't a bad guy. But that was, that was just kind of bullshit. Yeah, I'm sure he thought it was bullshit. I thought it was bullshit. And we were both stubborn enough that was it. We weren't gonna. I wasn't going to apologize, and neither was he. But I did him no harm, On the other hand, he did harm. He got rid of a pretty good employee, and I knew what things were in Radio Shack. I knew how to sell things, find things, describe things, order things. So, but that's how it works. When you do retail like that, jobs are sort of, it's easy come, easy go. But those are, yeah, that's it. I don't know what point I was making. Maybe I'm a good employee. I do believe that we are looking at Battle Mountain. Oh yeah, that's Battle Mountain. Mountain, you may not be able to see it, but it's a flat top mountain. There's some clouds below it. It's kind of hard to see. But I believe that we are looking at, yeah, Battle Mountain. In my last video, I forgot the name of that mountain. I typically do. I call it Table Mountain. So I put a little blurb there, a note, saying, oh no, it's not Table Mountain, it's called Battlement Mountain, which was also wrong. But I didn't correct that. All summer, I've been driving around that mountain to get to Laramie. And when I come back, I've been driving back around that mountain. There's a road there, Wyoming State Highway 70, that pretty much circles half of that mountain. It starts on the southwest side of the mountain, and it rotates around to the north, and then slowly turning to the east, and you work your way around that mountain as you're climbing up into the Sierra Madre Range, which we can't really see right there. Well, maybe it's that lump over. Yeah, that could be the start of the Sierra Madre Range. maybe I'm mistaken. That really does look like Battle Mountain, but it might be. But it looks awfully close to me now. Yeah, I think I could be mistaken. So let's just take all that back. I'm going to drill all that back in when I talked about Battle Mountain, because I don't know if that is Battle Mountain. My issue is that if that is Battle Mountain, where in the heck are the rest of the Sierra Madre Range? Because I'm seeing them way over there to my left, well, ahead of me and to the left. And that's definitely the Sierra Madre Range there. I think that might be a mesa out in a painted desert. Yeah, I don't think that's Table Mountain or Battle Mountain. It does look like it. It certainly does. But it's not in the right place anymore. Okay. Yeah, it's really... Yeah, it's definitely not Battle Mountain. Yeah, that makes more sense. So yeah, the Sierra Madre Range. That's why it's going to make me go really slow. I'm going to be an asshole. The Sierra Madre Range is just coming into view. Right there, that and on the horizon, those blue snow-covered mountains up there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to tell until you can tell. And then when you watch something for a while, you know, you can get a better feel for its distance and direction from you, especially out here in the west, where you can look 50 miles easy on almost any day. Or 100 miles. I mean, you can really, it's hard to tell distance is what I'm saying. I'm rationalizing my mistake. That's what I'm doing. You know what? I'm going to change my opinion again. That is the north side of Black Mountain, and that is also Baker's Peak. That makes more sense. Yeah, which means that I might be able to see over further to the left the very tops of the Sierra Madres. But they're over to the east quite a bit. We're heading south, by the way. So that's what I'm seeing here. Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Now, I'm not seeing bear's ears from here. That doesn't surprise me. I think it's hidden behind some of these nearer mesas. But that's what we're looking at. That's in Colorado, just so you know. We're still in Wyoming. But we are getting closer to home. We've got about 10 or 12 miles before we hit Baggs. And I think I'm going to fuel up one more time because the difference in the price of a gallon of gas is about $1 a gallon. Wish I had a 5-gallon gas can and I could fill everything up and then get home and top this off so that I got a full tank of cheaper gas for my next trip. So typically, I'm just going to say I use 18 gallons of gas round trip. Round trip. Yeah. When I do my short run, yeah, no, about 18 gallons of gas. This trip, I'm going to be about 22 gallons. That would make sense because it's 440 miles, roughly 20 miles a gallon. Majority, however, of that 22 gallons, 3/4 of that is $1 cheaper than the gas I get in Colorado, because I'm here in Wyoming. So that's a saving of about $16. But I am using about 4 more gallons of gas. So I'm actually saving a couple dollars by going this way, and it is a pleasure to not always have to do the mountain passes. It's nice to be able to just drive, look at the scenery, and enjoy life a little bit. Understanding that I like to be up in the mountains, just not with this vehicle right now with these tires on it. But otherwise, I'm so happy that this vehicle has done incredibly good. I have put probably 2,000 miles on this vehicle since I have been having extreme issues with that tracker. I think I've got my issues worked out with the tracker, but I need some warm weather because I have some pretty intensive mechanicking to do on it. I don't mind doing it, but I don't like freezing while I do it. I only had a garage. But I do have a heater if I have to. I've got a nice propane heater that would take the chill off. Yeah, so you have to do what we have to do. Like I say, I would prefer a garage. I'd be tempted to let another garage do it. If they quoted me a pretty good price, but I don't know. I think this might be one of the things I better just do on my own. All the mechanics around here are all pretty good, but I don't think they've done this job. And I have. I've taken the differential out of that tracker and put it back in. It's not that bad of a job. It's just cold. If we have cold, and worse than cold, wet, you know, that you're sitting in or lying in, none of that's good. Sometimes you have no choice, but sometimes, you know, we do have a choice. There was a kid living out here. I think he was living in a little camper on the side of the road here. He may still be there. I haven't seen him. I kind of like to have that Quonset done. It needs some work, but it would be a hell of a nice shop. The skylights have all blew out last winter. They were in rough shape last winter, but most of them were there. But no longer. The heavy snow got them, like the heavy snow got a lot of things around here. A lot of the old cabins that had been hanging out in pretty good shape for the last 100 years, the roofs got destroyed last year. There was so much snow. Yeah, my last opinion about those mountains was the correct one. That's Black Mountain. Those are pretty tall mountains. Baker's Peak, like Oliphant Mountain, and I think there's a Walton Peak up there. I may be wrong about that. Well, maybe I don't read it. I'm not sure. Oliphant, Baker, Black Mountain. Yeah, in that little complex right there. Big bird. Wow. That would be some kind of life, being a bird out here. unimaginable, quite honestly. Very hard to imagine. You might notice the ravens around here. They are some big birds. They really are big. Yeah, I think that kid who was living out here looks to me like the winter might have shut him down. Although I think he was a little bit closer into Baggs. We still have 4 or 5 miles to go, I think. So we will see. I don't recall deer fence being part of or being in front of his little camper. But you gotta have, I mean, you gotta, if somebody's tough enough to be able to do that, that's pretty cool. They'll live in a little camper basically on the side of the road. But if you drive down in through the reservations, you'll see people that live in crappy little shacks. You know, Indians. They have nice vehicles, but they have crappy little shacks. That's their tribe taking care of them. It doesn't look very good to me. It looks pretty bad. Like socialism failing badly is what that reminds me of. Looks like they got a little double there. Maybe that's a water well. There they are. Here's the dude. Living in he's got a little trailer out there now. Or he may have had one. Yeah, right on the outskirts of Baggs. It looks like he's got power. I mean, well, if you have power and a little trailer, or have some kind of fuel, you can do pretty good. A lot of oil field related stuff going on here in Baggs. I'm sure you could tell. Before that's a little bit expensive. I think I can do much better. On the other end of town. Yeah, there's Baker's Peak and there's Black Mountain. And all the cool little mountains that are There's Table Mountain. You can't see it, but it's a pretty damn big mountain. It looks exactly like the mountain that I thought was Table Mountain. It's just in a different spot. But you can believe me, it's there. Outlaw stop using. That's pretty cool looking. I've never seen that. There were a lot of outlaws in this area. All the famous outlaws, and some that were actually much worse than the famous ones lived up in this area. You know, from Craig to Baggs, all the way west. Oh yeah, it's about, it's cheap. Get gas here.